Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we attack the GOAT debate head on, where we challenge all Michael Jordan fans and all LeBron detractors to who is the GOAT of basketball. You can catch us every Sunday noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. Also, we go live Friday nights with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where you catch special shows and content as a GOAT James Kingdom follower and subscriber. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, where you can get exclusive content.
Before here, 2 online, did you see the anonymous player poll that came out today?
I did.
What was your reaction to that, and did it at all impact the way you played today?
It didn't impact the way I played today at all. I must be doing something right, if that's the case. I don't have a big speech or comment on it. I mean, all I care about is this locker room and winning games, and we're in position to go to Milwaukee and, continue this series on. So not too worried about that. I know who I am. I'm confident in my own skin and not worried about, what anybody thinks. My teammates trust me. So does, my front office, my coaching staff. So I'm good. I could care less.
There was an anonymous player poll that came out, and the players voted Tyrese as the most overrated player in the league. He's been candid about.
I heard about this, and the other guys on the list were Jimmy Butler and Giannis. All right, and I want to see the guys' faces that voted those guys. I want to see the faces of those guys. All right, this is a bullshit poll. Not everybody even answered in the poll. All right, guys were able to answer if they wanted to. They were asked on camera or with a microphone. The whole thing's bullshit. Okay, and it's just it's really a shameful thing. It's just a shameful thing. All right. Jimmy Butler would be a finalist for MVP if he had gotten to Golden State a month and a half earlier. I mean, what that guy's done. And Giannis, are you kidding me? I'm done. Thank you.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom channel for a special GOAT James Kingdom Sports Report, as we come live to report to you that's something that's very direct and instant on the actual NBA news breaker ticker. So here we are again. I am A. Johnny, the Exposer, giving you our breakdown here for the GJK Reports, as we're going to discuss this new athletic anonymous players poll again. They're at it again. They come out with another bogus poll from the Athletic, and here we go again with them coming out with another silly poll asking players, supposed NBA players, who's the most overrated and underrated players in the league. These guys cannot do a good job actually doing their job as journalists. They have to come up with some nonsense like this. But again, we are here to go right at them because, again, here in GOAT James Kingdom, we are here to talk about the game of basketball in the correct way. And we just don't seem to understand why some of these news outlets or these media outlets are so horrible at doing what they do. So, again, thank you for joining me here on this special GJK Sports Reports. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer, one half of the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, as today's live is an actual members only live. So shout out to all the members here in GOAT James Kingdom. But we're going to have a quick live here as we're going to discuss this report here, or this so-called, again, The Athletic came out with this anonymous NBA player poll, top 25. They polled them about the SGA and Joker MVP race, and they also talked about the most overrated players and are there too many three-pointers. Instead of asking who's the best defender in the league, who's the best dribbler in the league, or who's the best shooter in the league, who's the player that has the toughest matchup in the league, stuff that we can read, who's the best coach in the league, things of that nature, who has the best game plan night in and night out. They want to ask us silly questions about the MVP race, which has, I don't know why you asking the players. The players have no say-so in that, right? But they came out with this bogus list. Again, another anonymous player, the NBA player list. They're good for this. Now, supposedly they came out with this little list here, and they came out saying Halliburton was the most overrated player by the percentage-wise. And we could actually take a look at the article as well, because we're not actually going to get a chance to look at the article. Because this is another thing about these guys is that, I did my research on The Athletic. They're owned by New York Times now, but they started off in 2016 as a paid subscription type of a sports outlet. And they're trying to get some credibility, but we can tell these guys have no credibility at all. They just want people to sign up for membership and subscriptions for you to go read a bunch of articles that have no true information at all. Why would I need to go do that when I can go to Yahoo Sports or Fox Sports, which we're going to go do right now, and talk about your article, right? So again, these guys are just like I said, they're bad for basketball. But we're going to have to discuss this. So let's start off with the list. All right. So first off, they said Tyrese Halliburton is the most overrated player in the league. Rudy Gobert is the second most overrated player. Trae Young is the third most overrated player in the NBA right now. Jimmy Butler, for real, Jimmy Butler. And they're giving you the percentages here. 14.5% for Tyrese Halliburton. 10% of the players voted for Rudy Gobert. 9% voted for Trae Young, right? 5.5% for Jimmy Butler. Then they had a bunch of ties here between Brad Beal, Draymond Green, Ja Morant, and Julius Randle. Then they put Giannis was in the top 10. Giannis ends up in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, as the most overrated players in the NBA. Not only did they have Giannis in the top 10 as the most overrated player in the NBA, they had Tyler Hero tied for top 10 as the most overrated player. But then when they said who was the most underrated player, Tyler Hero was on the most underrated player list. He was 13th on that list. He got 2% of votes for being the most overrated player, and he got 1.5% of votes for being the most underrated player in the league. And as far as the underrated players, they voted 9% for Cade Cunningham, 7.5% for Derek White, 4.5% for Norman Powell. Austin Reeves got 3.5% out of this, right? And Drew Holiday and Jared Jackson Jr. are tied for fifth with 3%. But how did they come up with this? Let's take a look and see how they come up with this nonsense from, again, this is from The Athletic Sports. Player poll, NBA star reveals most overrated in the league and underrated Aussie turning heads, right? It goes here. Perhaps Bucks guard Damian Lillard isn't alone with his disdain for Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers guard is considered the most overrated in the NBA according to a poll of anonymous players by The Athletic, which was, I think it was like 136 players that actually answered this poll, receiving 14.5% of the votes from 90 players. My bad. This one was only 90 players that responded. Only 90 players responded out of this. Like a bunch of haters, dudes that probably don't get no attention in the NBA. Which is crazy because only 13 players supposedly voted for him last year. And another thing, they even had a quote from a player here. Let's read one of the quotes here from one of the players here. It said, when they were talking about Rudy Gobert, it says, Gobert, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner, had some particularly interesting takes from former players. Now, not as former players. So these are not even active players. Again, anonymous. These are probably not even NBA players, actual players who play the game. Quote from this supposed player: I don't understand the Defensive Player of the Year stuff when you don't guard the people who have the ball most of the time, the ones who are making the most of the decisions. End quote. Were you saying that with all those years when Dikembe Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning, and Ben Wallace was out here winning Defensive Player of the Year? When Marc Gasol was winning Defensive Player of the Year? Like, I mean, again, this is why this is bad for you. Again, this is a player who chose the Frenchman for the worst overrated player, or for the most overrated player, told to The Athletic. He guy continues, quote, I just don't see it, nor does he strike any fear in me, in my heart as a defender. The league has also had their say on the most underrated players. The rising Australian star Dyson Daniels, one of the guys. He was a guy who got 1.5% as far as being the most underrated player in the league. But the idea that Tyrese Halliburton and Trae Young and them are horrible at playing the game of basketball. Guys like Jimmy Butler. I mean, these guys are ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous list I've ever seen, and it's useless. It's bogus. It has no need to say it. Like Rick Carlisle said, put your name on it if you're gonna talk this way. You're talking about Giannis they have Giannis, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want to see it, they have Giannis right here. Giannis is tied for 10th at 2% of these supposedly 90 players who claim that these are the most overrated players in the NBA. Are we serious here? Are we really taking anything serious? Should we even be taking The Athletic serious? And mind you have to pay to read the article. So it lets you know right there off the top what they're trying to do. This is the most bogus and the most outrageous thing I've ever heard in my life when we talk about these bogus anonymous player polls. Like, this is what we doing now? We get anonymous player polls where they don't even have the balls and stuff, and then you're asking them silly questions like this? I mean, Tyrese Halliburton averaged 18 points per game, 9 assists per game, shooting 47% from the field and 39% from the three-point land. Why is Tyrese Halliburton considered overrated? It sounds like they're talking about players that NBA fans don't really like too much. The Draymond Greens, the John Morants, the Trae Youngs. Like, how are these guys even considered players that you don't like? Or players that can be considered overrated? Where are you rating Tyrese Halliburton for you to say he's overrated? Did Tyrese Halliburton even make an all-star team this year? No, he wasn't even an all-star this year. So how is he overrated? He made the all-NBA team one time in his career. He was an all-star and an all-NBA player last year. But he led the league in assists last year. He had back-to-back seasons with 20 points and 10 assists in 2023 and 2022 season. 2023 and 2024 season. I mean, this notion, and then Rudy Gobert, the hate for Rudy Gobert is another one that perplexes me because Rudy Gobert is a monster defensively. Now, this year he's averaging 12 points, 11 rebounds, okay? Shooting 65% from the field. Yeah, we know he doesn't take a lot of shots, but again, he's efficient. He's shooting 65% from the field. He's not averaging as much blocks as he normally averages. He's averaging 1.5 blocks per game, but he does play solid defensively. He hasn't been that great this year defensively as he's been in his prior years. But how are we going to disrespect Rudy Gobert, who averages a double-double? He averages 12 and 11. Like, the disrespect for Rudy Gobert is crazy. Again, a part of it is due to the media who discredit players, such guys like Stephen A. Smith who love to count players' pockets. Rudy Gobert plays 70 games per season easily. And you want to disrespect the man because he's making too much money. And he's one of the greatest defensive players we've had in NBA history. Yes, he has 4 defensive players of the year. You can't say he's not one of the best. And let's not even bring up Trae Young. Y'all want to talk about what Trae Young was doing. Trae Young's been averaging 20 and 10 for the last 5 NBA seasons. More than that, it's been like 24 and 10 in the last 4 or 5 NBA seasons. Trae Young is a monster. He led the league in assists this year. Where are you saying it? Trae Young has to be, what's it called? We have to scream and yell to get Trae Young on an all-star team. He made one all-NBA team his whole career. Trae Young is a 25 and 10 average a year player. The last 3 years, he's been averaging 25 and 11, ladies and gentlemen. But somehow these NBA players find it in their heart to say that these guys can't play the game of basketball and they're overrated. This is why the media needs to be corrected. This is why we need new media. This is why we need the Gilbert Arenas shows. We need the Draymond Green shows and the Jeff Green shows, because you guys do a horrible job when they try to use NBA players. Because we know the Zesty Jeffries love the NBA players. They love to use NBA players. They love to bring up NBA players. And what NBA players said this or that and the third. Because of anonymous, bogus, stupid, silly things like this from the Athletic, who really have no real credibility of any kind. But they have a little bit of cachet as far as money goes and logistics. They just were bought out by New York Times just a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2022. And now they're out here making these bogus, anonymous polls. And we're supposed to be sitting around here believing this stuff. So we're really supposed to believe that Tyler Hero is also the most overrated and the most underrated player in the NBA? Like, that's what we're supposed to believe? Right? That's what we're supposed to believe? Like, Julius Randle is overrated? What makes Julius Randle overrated? Again, let's look at the players that they claim are overrated. Tyrese Halliburton. We all know a lot of people have a disdain for him. Rudy Gobert, same thing. Trae Young, same thing. Jimmy Butler, same thing. Bradley Beal. Might as well put Bradley Beal in that category. People who really don't give a damn about nobody. No, he played in Washington. Nobody cares about Washington. He was another guy that was under the radar. I think he averaged 30 in the season and didn't even make the All-NBA team. Draymond Green, we all know. Let's not forget about it. We watched the game last night. John Morant, another player nobody don't like. Julius Randle, another player nobody don't like. Joel Embiid, another player nobody don't like. Dylan Brooks, Paul George, Tyler Hero, LeBron James, Zion Williamson. These are considered the most overrated players in the NBA. Then if we go to the underrated players, well, let's just name a bunch of guys that everybody like that are fan favorites. Cade Cunningham. Now, I can understand Cade Cunningham, but Cade Cunningham has definitely showed improved this year. A lot of people give him his props. Where is he underrated at? I have him in my top 15. I almost put him in my top 10. Derek White, a fan favorite in Boston. Norman Powell. I guess Norman Powell is a fan favorite amongst the fans to a certain degree. Right? You got Austin Reeves. We know Austin Reeves get a lot of fanfare. Matter of fact, some people would say Austin Reeves is overrated. We have a lot of people who say he's overrated, but supposedly this list says he's underrated. Drew Holiday, Jared Jackson Jr., Lou Dort, Trey Murphy III, Peyton Pritchard. These are all guys who come off the bench. These are role players that are considered underrated guys. Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams. They even put Jaylen Brown on this, which I thought was weird. Jaylen Brown was considered an underrated player. And people don't like Jaylen Brown. They call him overrated. Dyson Daniel made the list like we showed before. Tyler Hero, again, was put on the on the most overrated list and on the most underrated list. Which shows you how bogus this list is. Which comprise of players that we don't even know. And like I said, I didn't get a chance to read the article because, again, the article, you have to be a subscriber to The Athletic to be able to actually read the article. And I'm not going to subscribe to their crap because it's all nonsense. Pure nonsense. But that's what we got to deal with when we're talking about, NBA media. Right, and we talk about this here in GOAT James Kingdom. This is why GOAT James Kingdom exists. This is why we are here to do what we do and continue to do what we do. Because when we have media outlets like this that are just out here looking for clickbaits, you know what I'm saying? I was just all over it today. Everybody's talking about Shannon today, right? Everybody's going crazy about Shannon. And we don't deal with the gossip, especially nothing like that. That's social issues. We don't do that here in GOAT James Kingdom. And obviously, there's been some other breaking news as well in the NBA. We know that Jalen Brunson won a Clutch Player of the Year. We know Peyton Pritchard won Sixth Man of the Year. And we're going to be waiting for some more awards to come out. We know that they got the finalists out for all the other awards. Clutch Player of the Year was given out. And so was the with the first award I just mentioned. Besides that, and the sixth man of the year. But we still have the most improved player of the year to come out. We got the rookie of the year to come out, the all rookie team, the all NBA team, the all defensive team, defensive player of the year, and the league MVP to come out very shortly, which we'll do at GJK Reports once we have all of those come out, so we can discuss that also here on GOAT James Kingdom. But again, this is what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. We want to talk about the sport, and we want to talk about it in a positive light. We don't want to talk about the negativity. See what I'm saying? And we also want to give a shout out to Gilbert Arenas, another YouTube content creator and a basketball player, as we all heard the shocking news and the horrible news that his son got into a car accident early this morning in California. And we want to send out our prayers and best wishes for a fast recovery for Elijah, I believe that's his name, Elijah Arenas, which is Gilbert Arenas' son. And again, we send our prayers to you, Gilbert, and your family, and everyone who's praying for him, and all the people who love Elijah. And we wish for a fast recovery, a speedy recovery, as we know the young man is being treated in the hospital for his accident. So, again, we want to always talk about the positive things in basketball and in sports in general. That's what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. And we're going to continue to do good lives and shows like this. Again, this is the GJK Sports Report, where I do a special report about what's going on in the NBA, quick news, quick flash about what's going on. And again, if you want to become a GOAT James Kingdom member, all you got to do is hit that GOAT James Kingdom member join tab when you go to our homepage, and you'll have access to comment on shows like this. I want to give a shout out to Wayne Gant, a GJK member. Peace and blessings, brother. Thank you so much for joining in, and shout out to everybody who's watching us here. Again, you know what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership and support what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. We were doing a quick GJK Reports where we were discussing this athletic the athletic poll, again, is Bogus poll about the most underrated and overrated players, using 90 players, less than 100 players to just bring out this trash type of content for basketball. It is not necessary. But again, if you guys are tired of those type of basketball narratives where people are just not talking the game in the playoffs, this is what you'd rather bring out, come and join us every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, where Brandon and I talk the game of basketball. Not only that, we have an open GOAT debate and basketball debate. We open up the panel to all type of basketball fans, not just LeBron fans. Obviously, you guys know that we do this every Sunday noon Eastern time. If you really want to have a true debate where it's a LeBron fan versus a Michael Jordan fan or Kobe Bryant or whatever, just come to a Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where I go live and directly come at anybody who wants to have a debate with me or just talk about the game of basketball in general. Also, we go live every Saturday with the Radar. Last Saturday show had to be put on pause because LeBron James was out here setting up people on fire, winning playoff games. We know that's for a fact. We know that's why I didn't have that show. But again, the Radar is every Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Also, if you are a GOAT James Kingdom member, reach out to me. Maybe we can go live tonight and we can watch the Clippers versus the Nuggets tonight in the Game 3 that is available to watch, and we can have that available to us. So if you are interested in that, GJK members, reach out to us, and we can definitely have some fun doing that. We can definitely watch the game tonight. I know it's a late game, too. That's why I don't know if I'm going to have too many GOAT James Kingdom members interested in watching. But if you are, make sure you do that. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the GJK Reports right here with your boy, A. Johnny. Thank you for joining us here on a great Thursday evening. The playoffs is about to start. I'm going to get ready for that. You guys have a great evening. Thank you for joining me. Again, this is the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Y'all make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Y'all have a great, wonderful evening. Peace and blessings.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy BB and A. Johnny talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing, and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.